Dear students, today let us discuss about the poem that is Upagupta, which is by Rabindranath Tagore, So, Upagupta, who was he? Who was Upagupta? You remember one thing? Upagupta was a follower of Buddha. Follower of Buddha is called as Upagupta. So, before we know to this poem, let us first discuss about the poet of this poem. I have already told you the writer of this poem is Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore, the greatest of India's modern poets, was born in an affluent Bengali family in 1861. He was born in 1861 in a Bengali family. Besides being a poet, he was a novelist. You remember one thing, dear children, he was not only a poet, but a novelist, but a essayist, but a dramatist. So, he was a multifaceted personality. In Kannada, Bahumukha Vyaktitva, multifaceted personality. So, he was not only a poet, but a writer, but a essayist, but a dramatist. Tagore was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1913 for his book Gitanjali. He awarded the world's famous award, Nobel Prize, for his writing of Gitanjali in the year of 1913. And you remember one thing, dear children, our national anthem. What is that national anthem? Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jayaya, which is written by this Rabindranath Tagore also. So, Rabindranath Tagore was the founder or the writer of our Indian national anthem Jana Gana Mana. So, by his writing of Gitanjali, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1913. He was the founder of the internationally famous institution Vishwa Bharati at Shanti Niketan. Now, he established an institution that is Vishwa Bharati. Now it is called as Shanti Niketan University. So, his poetry is profoundly and unmistakably Indian because he much more preferred about our country through his writings. He restates the wisdom of India in verse by mingling love, friendship and music. So, he was the foremost famous writer of our India, Rabindranath Tagore, who wrote the poem Upagupta. Upagupta means here, Upagupta was one of the follower. Follower means Anuyayi, follower of Buddha, Gautama Buddha. So, in this poem, the poet just wants to tell about the inner beauty of Upagupta. Inner beauty of Upagupta. Let us know what are the things the poet here wanted to tell about the Upagupta through this poem. Before that, I would like to read this poem first and foremost. Please listen to my model reading very attentively and much more intentionally. Upagupta by Rabindranath Tagore. Upagupta, the disciple of Buddha, lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura. Lamps were all out, doors were all shut, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August, whose feet were those tinkling with anklets, touching his breast of a sudden. He woke up startled, and the light from a woman's lamp struck his forgiving eyes. It was the dancing girl, starred with jewels, wearing a pale blue mantle, drunk with the wine of her youth. She lowered her lamp and saw the young face, austerely beautiful. "Forgive me, young ascetic," said the woman. "Graciously come to my house. The dusty earth is not fit bed for you." The young ascetic answered, "Woman, go on your way. When the time is right, I will come to you. When the time will arrive, I will come to you," he replied to her. Suddenly, the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. The star groveled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger. A year has not yet passed. It was evening of a day in April, in spring season. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of the flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. Upagupta passed through the city gates and stood at the base of the rampart. Was that a woman laying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove? Struck with the black pestilence, her body spotted with sores of small fogs, she was hurriedly driven away from the town to avoid her poisonous contagion. The ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees, and moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. "Who are you, merciful one?" asked the woman. "The time at last has come to visit you, and I am here," replied the young ascetic. So, it is the model reading of this poem, Upagupta. Are you understood, dear children? Shall I read this once again? Okay, please listen to me. Upagupta by Rabindranath Tagore. Upagupta, the disciple of Buddha, lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura. Lamps were all out, doors were all shut, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August, whose feet were those tinkling with anklets, touching his breast of a sudden. He woke up startled, and the light from a woman's lamp struck his forgiving eyes. It was the dancing girl, starred with jewels, wearing a pale blue mantle drunk with the wine of her youth. She lowered her lamp and saw the young face, austerely beautiful. "Forgive me, young ascetic," said the woman. "Graciously come to my house. The dusty earth is not fit bed for you." The young ascetic answered, "Woman, go on your way. When the time is right, I will come to you." Suddenly the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. The storm growled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger. A year has not yet passed. It was evening of a day in April in spring season. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of the flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. Upagupta passed through the city gates and stood at the base of the rampart. Was that a woman lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove? Struck with the black pestilence, her body spotted with sores of small fox, she was hurriedly driven away from the town. To avoid her poisonous contagion, the ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees, and moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. "Are you merciful one?" asked the woman. "The time at last has come to visit you, and I am here," replied the young ascetic. So, it is the model reading of this poem. Now let us go into this poem, that is Upagupta. What are the incidences occurred in this play, in this story, or in this poetry, according to the author or according to the poet? Dear children, it is a poem which is by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore, who was the writer of our Indian national anthem. So, who written the poem Upagupta? Upagupta means, I have told you already, Upagupta means Upagupta was one of the follower of Gautama Buddha. So, here one of the follower of Gautama Buddha was called as Upagupta. So, now let us discuss about the Upagupta. What are the incidences was occurred in his life according to the poet here. Shall we begin the poem now? The total theme of this poem is: you should not bother about your beauty, you should not bother about your money, you should not bother about your money or so and so, but you should be bother about your doing duty. Through many instances, or through many Upagupta's life's instances, the poet quoted about this point in this poem. So, whatever it may be, that is not important. The important thing is you are doing duty. So the poet in this poem or from this poem just wanted to stress about our doing duty. You first prefer about your doing duty, not your beauty. So in this poem or from this poem, the poet gave instances about the Vasavadatta and about the life of the Upagupta. So let us discuss about them. Shall we begin the poem now? Okay. Upagupta, which is by Rabindranath Tagore. Upagupta. Who was Upagupta? Who was he? Who was Upagupta? Answer is simple. He was one of the follower. One of the follower of Gautama Buddha was called as Upagupta. So, disciple here. Disciple means follower of a religious leader. He was a religious leader follower whose name was Gautama Buddha. So, Upagupta was the disciple of Buddha, lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura. Once upon a time, he was lay asleep on the city wall of Mathura. City wall of Mathura. One day, accidentally or intentionally, he was lay asleep on the dusty ground by the city wall of Mathura. Who was lay asleep here? Upagupta. Upagupta was lay asleep intentionally of a night in the wall of, by the wall of or by the city wall of Mathura. Lamps were all out during that night time, during that sleeping time. Night lamps, the street lamps were all shut down, doors were all shut. The doors of the houses are all shut down. They were all closed, and lights were also closed or shut down, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August. The August means here it is the season of rainy, or it is the rainy season. So during that night time, that particular night time, the clouds were covered. The clouds were covered. So all the stars were hidden behind that August clouds or murky sky of August. So it is the explanation of the first stanza. By that stanza, we learn the point here like this. First, the Upagupta, who was the disciple of Buddha, who lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura during the time when he was sleeping in the night time. All street lamps were shut down and all the doors of the houses were closed. That means they were closed, they were shut down, and all the stars they were in the sky were hidden behind the murky sky of August, because it is the rainy season, so the clouds were covered, so all stars were hidden behind the murky sky of August. So it is the theme of this first stanza. Let us go to the next stanza. Who feet were those tinkling with anklets. When the disciple, when the follower of Buddha was lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura during that time, whose feet a woman was came or a woman was coming to him and whose tinkling with whose feet were those tinkling with anklets or foot tinkling, shining with the anklets or jewels and touching his breast of a sudden. When she was walking on that path, she accidentally touched to the Buddha, touched to the disciple of Buddha or Upagupta. Accidentally, she touched to him. When she accidentally touched to him, he woke up. Who woke up here? Upagupta woke up and started. He was a little bit of confused. Who arise me? Who arise me? He just a little bit of questioned about himself. That is started, and the light from a woman's lamp struck his forgiving eyes. That woman was carrying a lamp that through that lamp's light his face was shining, his face was showing. So by this second stanza, in this stanza the Vasavadatta, that particular woman whose name was Vasavadatta. Who was Vasavadatta here? One question will be arise here. Who was Vasavadatta? Vasavadatta, she was a dancing girl of Mathura. She was a dancing girl of Mathura. When she was walking on her path or on her way, accidentally she awakened to the Upagupta by just touching him. When he woke up, he became confused and through her hands lamp's light, his face was shining and lamp struck his forgiving eyes. It was the dancing girl. Her name was Vasavadatta. The woman who was walking on that path, accidentally she touched to the Upagupta. Her name was Vasavadatta. Dear children, you remember one thing? Who was Vasavadatta? Vasavadatta was a dancing girl. Dancing girl of Mathura. So, it was the dancing girl stared with jewels. Stared means here shining like stars. Her whole body shining like stars with jewels. Jewels means the ornaments which were made by gold or other metal. So that they are called as jewels. She hanging the jewels. By that jewels, she was shining like a stars. She was shining like a stars. Who was shining like a stars here? Vasavadatta. Was she really shining? No, she was not really shining, but through her jewels, through her wearing jewels or ornaments, she was shining. So it was the dancing girl stared with jewels, wearing a pale blue mantle. She wearing a dull pale mantle. Mantle means it is a kind of a dress which was worn by a woman. So she wore that pale blue mantle and she drank with wine. She had a habit of drinking the wine. So she drank the wine. Dear children, look at this board here. Drunk. What is this? Drunk. It is the past tense form of drink. It is the past tense form of drink. Drink, drunk, drink, drank, drunk. Drink, drank, drunk. This is V1, this is V2, this is V3. Past participle. Drink, the past tense form of this drink is drank, and the participle form of this drank is drunk. She was drunken, or she was drunk with wine. That means she had the habit of drinking the wine of her youth. By her youthfulness, by her adult age, she had the habit to drink the wine. She lowered her lamp. When she had a lamp in her hand, she lowered her lamp on the ground and saw the young face, austerely beautiful. When she saw the young Upagupta's face from that lamp's light, he was beautifully person. She remember like that, or she come on to know about him. He was a beautiful person. So he was austerely beautiful, or his face was very beautiful. So when she accidentally touched to him, she had requested to him, please forgive me and setting. She requested to him sorry for his started or for his awakened. Please excuse me. Please forgive me. She requested to him. Said the woman, graciously come to my house. She had invited to him. She invited to him, graciously come to my home. Occasionally or frequently you come to my home. You may come to my home accidentally or occasionally. So graciously, kindly, without any hesitation, please come to my house. She had invited to him for her house, and she added, and she continued, this dusty earth is not fit to bed for you. This dusty ground is not fit to bed for you. This dusty ground is not suitable for your sleeping. So I graciously invite you, I kindly invite you, please come to my house and forgive me for your awakening. So she added, the dusty earth is not fit bed for you. The thing is here, the dusty earth is not fit bed for you means this dusty ground is not suitable place for your sleeping. Please come to my home or come to my home, and in that home you may sleep. In that home you may sleep. So she had invited the disciple to her home. The young ascetic answered when she invited him to her house. He replied to her in a quiet manner, in a common manner, just like this: "Woman, go on your way. Woman, go on your way. I will come. I will come when the time is right. When the time is right, I will come to you." He answered to that Vasavadatta in a cultured manner. Now you go to your home. When a time will arrive, I will come to you. When the time is right, I will come to you. Or he will come to her, go to her home. So he replied her in a cultured manner. Suddenly, the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. When there was a discussion occurred between them, the lightning was very high. So, during that time, suddenly the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. Because that day, particularly that day was clouds were occurred, or the clouds were formed in the sky. So by that clouds, the lightning, the thunder were occurred. So by that suddenly the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. The storm growled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in a fear of some unknown danger. By that lightning, by that thunder, she had departed by that place before. She had departed by that place. Dear children, it is the explanation of fourth stanza, fourth and fifth stanza. You remember the events from that stanzas when the Upagupta was lay asleep on the ground. Accidentally, the Vasavadatta, the dancing girl of Mathura, was awakened him by accidentally touch to him. When he was awakened, he little bit of startled and he did not say anything about her, that kind of attitude. After that, she had looked his face, and she requested to him, "Forgive her, please forgive her," or she requested to him, "Forgive me." So after that, she had invited him to her place. She had given the intention, or she had given the reason for that purpose. She told that dusty ground is not a fit bed for him to sleep in. So she had invited him to her house for sleeping. "Graciously come to my home and you may take rest there." Just she invited him like this. But the Upagupta was not wanted to go with her, and he replied to her like this: "Woman, go on your home. When the time right, I will come to you. When the time right, I will come to you." So, these are the instances or the incidences occurred by those stanzas. Shall we continue the stanzas now? Okay. A year has not yet passed after that incident. the year was not completed. A year has not yet passed means a year was not completed. It was evening of a day in April in spring season. During the summer season, during the month of April, after before a 1 year completed, the branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of the flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. During that time, during that spring season, all trees were looked like young trees because of their new branches and new leaf. So they were all shining. By that shining, a gay notes of the flute flying. There was a person who flying the flute. That flute's sound came floating in the warm spring air from afar. From the far place, the sound was hearing there. That sound was playing the flute. So it is the 5th stanza of before a 1 year completed. The time has changed. The time has changed up to rainy season to summer season. All trees were in beautiful color or beautiful young attitude, and all branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of the flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. Afar means distance. Afar means far away. From the far away. Shall we continue the poem now? Okay. Upagupta passed through the city gates. During that time, during that particular time, Upagupta was passed through the city gates of Mathura. When he was walking through the city gates of Mathura and stood at the base of the rampart. That means he was stood at the entrance of that city. Was that a woman lying at his feet in the shadow of the mangrove grove. There was a woman who was lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove. So before 1 year completed, a particular woman was lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove. And that woman was nothing but a Vasavadatta. Before 1 year back, she was shining like a stars with her jewels. Now the time has ripened. Now the time has changed. Now she became diseased person, or now she became Fantasian person. So she was struck with black pestilence. She was struck with black pestilence. Black pestilence means here a dead epidemic disease. A dead epidemic disease is called as black pestilence. So before 1 year completed, she was struck. That means she was suffered by the black pestilence disease. And by that disease, her whole body spotted with sores of small pox. Because of that disease, her whole body spotted with sores. ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಗಳು, ನಾವು ಅಮ್ಮ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆ ಆ ಬಾಡಿ ತುಂಬ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಿಕನ್ ಫಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಫಾಕ್ಸ್. She was hurriedly driven away from the town to avoid her poisonous contagion when she was suffering by the black pestilence. She was hurriedly driven away from the city. She was hurriedly driven away from the city. The intention was here to avoid her poisonous contagion. So the people of that city, they were not ready to accept her disease. So they were driven her away from the city to avoid the poisonous contagion. So she was driven away from the city for avoid the poisonous contagion. The ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees. Dear children, look at the situation here. Just you imagine the situation here. Why, how the situation has changed here. Once upon a time, within a year, when he was sleeping on the dusty ground, she had accidentally awakened to him, and she requested sorry to him, and she had invited him to her body. But now when she was invited him to her body, the ascetic was not ready to go to her house. But now when she was suffered by a black pestilence, the ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees. Not only sat by her side, not only took her head on her knees, but that disciple treated that contagious woman or poisonous black pestilence woman in a human manner, in a right manner, in a kind-hearted manner. So when she was suffering by the black pestilence, now the disciple just wanted to treat her, just wanted to console her disease. So when the disciple was sat by her side, took her head on his knees and moistened her lips with water. Just he wanted to drink to that woman the water. That is, moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. He applied the kind of medicine to her whole body. So that is smeared her body with sandal balm. When he was treated her like this, she requested to him, or she had asked to him, "Who are you? Who are you, merciful one?" asked the woman. When he was treated to that woman, she had asked to him who you are, or who he was. Merciful one, the time at last has come to visit you, and I am here, replied the young ascetic. Last time when we met accidentally, you invited me to your home. That person I was here. So that the time at last has come to visit you, and I am here, replied the young ascetic. When you requested, invite me, when you requested me, or when you invited me to your house, that person I was here. When you are in difficulty situation, when you are in a critical situation, I am here. So, in her critical situation, the whole city driven her away from the city. Now the person just wanted to treat her. Just wanted to treat her by moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. So, when she was in critical condition, when she was in critical situation, the merciful one person or the deceitful person Upagupta was there to teared out her tears. So, the intention is here, the disciples, the way of disciples or the life of disciples is not to accept the happiness but also to accept the unhappiness. The thing is here, the intention is here, the intention of the poet is here, the disciple or any says. They are not ready to involve in the happy situation, but they should be involved in the difficulty situation to tear out of the needy person or difficulty person. So, it is the total theme of this poem. So, through his character, through this Upagupta's character, the writer or the poet Rabindranath Tagore just described how the person he was. Was he kind-hearted person or was he artificial person? Artificial person means was he wanted to the desires? Was he wanted to the ambitions? So, through these instances, the poet just described about the Upagupta. He was not only, he was not a ambitious person, but also a very human, kind-hearted person. When that woman was suffered by a black pestilence, he was just treated to her to kick out her disease. Just like moistened her lips with water and smeared her whole body with sandal balm. So, it is the explanation of the poem Upagupta by Rabindranath Tagore. Dear children, what you learned from this poem? Come on, tell me now. What you learned? Okay, and then you remember one thing, mercifulness is more important than anything in our life. Okay, shall we stop it here? Okay, thank you.